Hello! And welcome to another edition of Press the Action Button podcast. As usual, I am your host, Joystick. With me once again is D-Pad. How are you doing this week, D-Pad?
Howdy doody time. It's howdy doody time. Hey guys, it's me, D-Pad. I'm here coming from San Francisco. I flew all the way here, and my arms are tired, because I flew.
Then out on the wing, flapping your arms.
That's why my arms are tired, and I'm hungry. Oh wait, that was supposed to be at the beginning of the joke. Oh wait, anyway, here's Game Face. Going on to you.
Yeah, also with us is Game Face.
Hi guys, this is Alex, aka Dude, aka Game Face. I'm here to Dude-a-reno if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Dude-alicious?
No, not quite.
Deuteronomy?
Okay, I'll go with Deuteronomy. But that works. I'm here to gladly announce that this is the shortest amount of time in between us sitting down with the computer and actually pressing the record button. Because what you don't know is there's usually about 10 minutes to 30 minutes of discourse before we even get around to pushing the record button.
And then there's another 10 minutes of discourse before we get around to topics.
More like 15 minutes.
Well, I did notice that we do tend to stay on topic better when Andrew is not here.
Yeah.
I have noticed that.
Yeah, it's funny. I was off topic like all day. Like I woke up and I was like, I gotta do laundry and stuff. And it's 4th of July and I gotta do stuff.
Oh shit, my laundry's still in the washer. It probably smells bad by now.
It always smells bad. Oh. And
well, yeah, you've been in that basement. There's a cup of white stuff that we have no idea what it is that was originally brown.
It used to be brown. It was like a cup of food, but I'm hoping it was just a milkshake, but now it's white. So, we all do laundry over at my friend's house down the road because our building is very, very small, doesn't have laundry facilities, and the nearest laundromat is about 2 miles away. So, this laundry room is always a mess. There's always heaps of clothing. And it's all theirs. It's like a couple and, a toddler child and a dog who probably doesn't have very much laundry.
Yeah, I'm going to guess the dog doesn't have much laundry.
And there's all these clothes and, furniture and, broken stuff. And then there's this bucket with, empty jugs of detergent and this Dixie cup with, some kind of organic matter. It was just there.
And it's been there for a long fucking time. We have no idea what it is. You know what? We should announce what we're drinking. Who wants to do it?
This has to be D-Pad.
Let me do it. Okay. All right.
Wow, you're excited.
I know, because I've wanted to say this, in context.
Have
my
some
whole
pretzels?
Life. No thanks, I'll call it quits. Those things give me the Schlitz. We're drinking Schlitz, guys. Yes, there is a beer called Schlitz. What is it? Is this German? Is it Milwaukee? What made Milwaukee famous?
Huh. Schlitz is metal.
Schlitz has always been metal.
Top of top, my friend.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
That's a start. That's how you start a podcast. Anyway.
Yes, it is. Always start with popping of the tops.
It's not bad.
3.5 minutes in.
It kind of tastes like the can.
It kind of tastes like the can?
The can that it's in, yeah. It's like, I don't know. I like it. I mean, not complaining. Anyway,
it's beer.
Yeah, so I got this bubble on my wrist from when I was making spaghetti and meatballs with vodka sauce, and I leaned over to put the spaghetti noodles in the sauce, and this big glob of sauce popped up and stuck to my wrist, and I didn't want to wipe it off because then I'd burn my fingers, so I just had to look at it as it burned a hole in my wrist.
That sounds painful.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, see it? Yeah, it's kind of gross. Well, it was a big bubble, and I came into work the other day and I tried to pop it, and it squirted on the girl next to me, and I don't think she's ever going to talk to me again.
That sucks.
Yeah, it did.
Is she cute?
Yeah.
That doubly sucks.
Yeah. Well, anyway, do we have any happy topics to get my mind off of that unfortunate event?
You got a new job and a new car.
I did. All I need now is a new wardrobe.
And a new woman.
You mean a woman, period?
That too.
Well, except not the period part.
Yeah, I was gonna say. But that's a happy topic, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
got a new job.
Guys, I'm starting at Technosource, but I'm going to be calling it Initech if I ever bring it up again. So don't...
Man, you got... And granted, you're doing really well for yourself, but you get paid, like, less than me, and you already have probably a funner job, and you got a convertible. Screw you.
It is a convertible, but it's a total chick car. My friends call it the bitch basket. It's a Volkswagen Cabrio.
Yeah, it's nice, aside from a little body damage.
Cabrio. Oh, we'll fix it up. We might even put a...
Hey, if Tim and Sean give you crap about owning, quote, a bitch basket, end quote, just be like,
well,
at
you
least
can get
I
out of
own
my
one.
bitch
You have to
basket.
envy my bitch basket.
You must worship the bitch basket. In fact, lean over and kiss the bitch basket, because...
You have to envy. Cameron, I don't even own a car. I have to envy your piece of shit. Such a good movie. Such a good movie.
Wait, what? Is that
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
When he was talking about Cameron's car being a piece of shit. And then he said, I don't even own a car. I have to envy your piece of shit.
No, he actually said, I don't have it. He said, relax, I don't even have a POS. I have to envy yours.
I think that was just on the censored version on TV.
You know what I found out, like when I was watching Happy Gilmore on television? They don't censor every single word in that movie.
I'm sure they miss a couple.
Well, I know they do, because I've watched
Well, they can't
it on
censor
television.
every single word, because then you wouldn't hear the dialogue. You're talking about the profanity.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean, like the profane, so-called profane words.
Meanwhile, Ben Stein once did a list of 20 words that you can say on TV, like in response to George Carlin's words that you can't say on TV. And they were all things that sounded dirty, but they weren't. And then, like, right in the middle of it, he's like, cocktail weenie, Bueller, and then he gets on with the list. It made me chuckle. Bueller, Blur, Ben Affleck,
Matt Damon.
on a secret mission to the Gobi Desert to save Ben Affleck. Dude.
Matt Damon.
There's a montage on YouTube of parts where Matt Damon says Matt Damon in Team America, but it's the Spanish dub. So it's this whole montage of this Matt Damon puppet going, Matt Damon! Matt Damon! It's great.
That's freaking awesome.
So a retarded Spanish person sounds normal? Damon!
It's
It's a good movie. I recommend it. We got topics.
Yeah, we do have topics.
We got your first topic, if I do remember, really made me angry. Somebody here, some non-believer, a heathen, if you will, a heretic, said that video games can never be art.
And his name is Andrew McLeaf. No, actually, Andrew has said that.
Oh, well...
No. Let me elaborate on that. Dr. Drew, actually, he says that because video games are meant to be marketed entertainment with a target audience, they cannot be art. However, elements of the game can be art.
See,
Like the story
not
can
all
be
video
art, the
games
graphics can be art.
exist to generate money, though. I mean, there are all kinds of independent developers out there that just create video games just because they want to. Put them on the internet on the off chance that somebody might actually like it. They don't care.
I'd like to hear his input on that, because I don't think he'd be willing to back down anyways, as much sense as that makes. He's just like that.
Well, it seems to
sauce.
that strikes me as that could potentially be art.
That is a good point, because I would like to, but I do like his view that elements of the game can be art.
Anyway,
I like the level layout in the older Well, and the newer Mario games for that point too. I mean, the gameplay is fun enough, but just the way that the levels are laid out, I always thought was very aesthetically pleasing.
I don't think this is the first time we've talked about this on the podcast. I think we've talked about it once before, where Roger Ebert posted up a journal on his website where he stated that video games can never be art. Recently, he has retracted that statement, that video games can never be art. He said he should have never written about the subject because he has very little experience with video games.
Amen.
And no interest in playing them. He said there are more than 4,500 replies to his original journal. 300 or so agreed with him, and the rest argued with his point of view. He said that he still thinks games are not art, but admits the possibility of them one day potentially being high art.
I think
He
it's
used Shadow of the Colossus as an example.
perfect example.
I think it's a perfect example, too. I mean, if I could point out one game and say, that one is art, it would be Shadow of the Colossus. That's the one that would spring to mind instantly.
Because
Even-
like you play it for not just the visuals. I mean, the whole experience that you immerse yourself in. It's just
the
it
world,
just reeks of style.
the music.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's not like any other adrenaline-pumped, action-packed video game that you play. It's more
The
for
atmosphere.
experience. It's just the feeling that you get. You know, there's not even that much fighting in the game. It's mostly traveling, sightseeing, just making yourself feel like you're straight out of a old movie, like you're straight out of Clash of the Titans or something.
Now, I heard once that someone actually optioned Shadow of the Colossus to be a movie, and I'm not sure how it would work as a movie because there's so little dialogue, but I think there's one man that might have been able to make it work, and he's dead. That man being Stanley Kubrick.
I thought you were going to say Ray Harryhausen.
Ray Harryhausen didn't direct.
Yeah, but still, Ray
And Ray
Harryhausen.
Harryhausen is alive.
Yeah, but Harry Rayhausen is dead. Yeah, well, you know, Sands of Time worked. That turned out a pretty good movie.
Did we tell you, Ian, that him and I went to see that?
Oh, the Persia.
Yeah.
Oh, how was it?
It wasn't bad.
Persia Prince.
It wasn't
actually
amazing. It wasn't mind-blowing or anything like that. But it's a movie where you can tell that the people involved in it actually cared at least somewhat about the source material.
Like
So
most
the
other
end
video game
product
movies.
wasn't that bad. It was actually entertaining. That's kind of a cool story.
Personally, I think that as of late, anyway, turning a video game into a movie or vice versa would be like turning a song into a big game. You just can't do it. Like, it's just two different mediums. You know, that usually the transition screws up the whole point.
I think it really depends on how much the audience of the game loves the characters.
That's my point. Like, that's the only fan base, and they know they're going to make money off of it based on that alone.
Yeah, if a game sells itself by the gameplay alone, by the experience alone, then you can't do it. But if it sells itself by the characters and the story, well, then that's a formula for a movie. A movie.
Yeah, but
By the way,
you look at
folks-
the Lord of the Rings movies. Okay, you can turn the book into movies. That would pretty director, I guess, but whatever. The games, I guess if I took enough time to get into them, I could have. But from what I played, picked it up. I played about half an hour of it, and I said, I already saw this in theaters, and I put it down. I never had any ambition to continue playing.
Something you might be interested in. Lord of the Rings Online is going to wind up going with a free-to-play model. So you'll be able to explore all the different details and areas and whatnot from the movies. That would definitely be cool. I would be down for that. I'd be down to see how the experience works out as an MMO. And it's got potential to be a very good MMO because it's a large and diverse world to begin with.
You'd be able to call it Lotro.
But see, that's another crossing of boundaries here, because you know J.R. Tolkien, he might be creating like parts, like stories in the Middle Earth universe that he never intended to exist. It's just kind of like taking someone's art and using it. Some people might see things wrong.
It would feel more. I would think of it more as like a tribute. It's not meant to be a rip-off.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, I'm not saying it's a rip-off. It's just like, I don't know, using someone else's idea. It's like, J.R. Tolkien created a masterpiece, and most people would say we could.
Speaking of Tolkien, I'm actually reading Children of Hero.
Oh, okay. Right.
Really, really good. I'm like 200 pages into it.
I want to read the Salmonella. I mean, the Zyderelli. I mean, the Grenadier.
I know what you're talking about. Silmarillion.
The Silmarillion, yeah.
Yeah. I want to read that sometime, too. Did you know Blind Guardian wrote a concept album about that?
Yeah. You told me about that.
Because they're fucking awesome. It's called Nightfall on Middle-earth.
I want to listen to it. Wow.
By the way, guys, I think we should have mentioned this earlier, but happy 4th of July, America, and the world, because we're arrogant like that.
I hope you celebrated your 4th of July by going outside, celebrating the birth of America by blowing up a small part of her.
And not staying inside and playing Spyro the Dragon.
Oh yeah, heaven forbid.
Blowing up a virtual part of America on a video game is not exactly the same. Although that would probably be fun too.
That could be a game. That could be a Wii game. Wii Dynamite. Throw dynamite.
You know, there was a point in time when people said that movies could never be a form of art.
I'm sure there was.
And
exactly. And look at it now. People, like, companies will spend millions and millions of dollars. Whoa.
Or dozens and dozens of dollars on an art film.
Yeah, maybe if you're Troma Films.
No, I mean like an art film. Like, like Tom's idea of having a black and white video of Tim standing in a graveyard getting pelted by produce.
In slow motion.
In slow motion. Hey, it's art.
While the 1412 overture plays.
Yeah. Well, he wanted like really sad music.
Right.
Which would just be even funnier. Was that Mozart? It's a bird, it's a plane, it's a Mozart.
Oh man. We need to edit out those imitations of us trying to do music and put in like...
Yeah, let's stop trying to music.
With our mouths.
we suck at musicking with our mouths. But yeah, I think video games can I don't know if anything
they are
has
art. They always have
achieved
and
being
and
high.
one day,
I don't know if anything has achieved being high art, but
they will one day become high art.
I
One
would
day
certainly
be
label
respected by all.
like Shadow of the Colossus. Just to keep going back to that example because it's the best freaking example I can think of. Is like
By the time
that would be
we're
like a timeless
geezers,
masterpiece, man.
By the time we're old and decrepit, we will be able to watch our grandkids play a video game and just watching it, just take in the experience. And imagine us as 70-year-old people. I mean, anybody. If that's the case, then somebody of any age could enjoy it.
Well, my first experience was with Super Nintendo was when I was about 7 and watching my cousin play, what is it, Link to the Past? I didn't play it at all. I just been trying to figure out how to work back and forth to get through a puzzle in the forest or something, and it just rocked my world. To this day, I have spent very little time playing that game. I'd like to someday when I have the time, but I mean, crap. That was a powerful movement. It was a moving power. Such good stuff.
And that's what I hope the video games turn out to be. during like a scene in a movie that shows the whole landscape, and just everybody in the theater says, "Wow, that is
It's
cool."
like you watch someone playing Halo, and it's exciting, but it's just not the same.
I think if done correctly, video games can immerse you into the setting more powerfully.
Yeah, like, well, some video games don't even need, like, words. Like, the first time you step out of the vault in Fallout 3, you just look at the massive ruined world that sprawls out before you. And it's one of the most amazing things I've seen in a video game. Just sitting there panning back and forth across the wasteland and seeing it for the first time. I'm like, oh, because seeing videos of it and actually experiencing it for yourself on the game, it's like two completely different things. And it's moments like that that are just like, wow. That really give me hope for video games one day being taken seriously as a form of storytelling and an art form.
Guys, look at the screen. We have exactly 100 more hours that we can record for on this hard drive.
Shall we move on?
Take us into next year. Yeah, sure.
Quantic Dreams is putting off further downloadable content packs for Heavy Rain in favor of adding support for Sony's Move at the request of Sony. In case you haven't been keeping up, the Move is basically Sony's answer to the Wiimote.
Oh, you mean that ice cream cone looking thing?
With the ball, with the shiny ball on the end, I'm not sure if it actually serves a purpose or not.
Freaking ice cream cones on my phone.
Jeez. Forgot to
Press X
silence
to
it.
Sean.
Sean.
What's that gonna be like with the Wii, with the remote?
Well, it's got all kinds of gestures that you do with the joystick in the game. So I can see how easily they could implement Move into this. But I'm not sure if it's a good idea at the expense. It's not necessary. It's kind of cool, though. But I'm not sure it's a good idea.
It's cool.
It's
It just
just
seems
furthering the story and the motions and stuff like that you do in the game are not what that game is about. It's about furthering. It's about the story.
Exactly. See, I think it could open up a lot of possibility, a lot of useless possibility, and not too much use. You know, like you'd be able to move your arms around. You'd be able to maybe throw objects or dribble a basketball or stuff like that.
Speaking of dribbling basketballs, Dr. Drew is on his way over.
Really, Dr. Drew?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Touching butts.
We're gonna have a full house here.
Oh, you haven't... We... The last week or so, we have not been able to stop talking about touching butts. It's just one of those Drewisms. That like, it's like a general term for either sex or just, like, casual... Or just, like, dating. Or, like, not even sex, just, like...
What about, like,
anything.
mingling?
Mingling, yeah. Oh, you know, mingling,
we were at the
touching
bar
butts.
last night touching butts.
Once he gets over here, is he going to want to, like, join in on this?
I don't know, I hung up on him.
What, in mid-sentence?
Yeah, pretty much.
So he's like, hey, Alex, touching butt, and you're like, click.
Yeah. Yeah. He's going to be like, oh, man, you left me high and dry there.
He's going to get here, and he's going to, like, tss, to finish his sentence.
Yeah, or he might be like, yeah. I don't know, I got nothing right now.
His pants and be like, Alex, we're touching butts. This is your punishment.
For hanging up on me. Anyway, yeah. This is like...
my catchphrase.
I think, in all reality, Sony's motion sensing technology probably going to do better than Kinect because it's a lot cheaper. And it comes with, like... I mean, you for $100, you get the controller, the nunchuck-type controller, and a game. So that's not that bad. But
Be much better for touching butts.
I don't know if this is going to a selling point for a game that's already out. I don't know if it's going. I don't think it's going to sell any more good downloadable content. So I'm not sure I understand this move from Sony.
This move like very susceptible to having a couple of killer apps over the next year or so, and then just have a bunch of games that support the technology that are just very, very poorly executed.
Kind of like the Wii.
Yeah, exactly. There'll be something stupid for the Kinect, like the only time when you use it is for your inventory screen, and you have to like jog through menus or something. And
But
which would kind of be cool, but you know, something
Microsoft
stupid
hasn't shown any hardcore game support for their Kinect, but the Move, Sony has. Sony's like, hey, guess what? You can use this for Killzone 3. Hey, let's show you some guy using it for SOCOM. And then they said, oh, by the way, Heavy Rain's going to support it as well. And
D-pad.
Resident Evil. So, I mean...
D-pad is squeezing his spaghetti wound. That's so wrong.
And I think
There's gotta be spaghetti in there somewhere.
I think that's a good move on Sony's part to show hardcore games. After this, we have 2 topics full of nothing but Kinect. Aren't you excited about that?
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay. Should we, like, pause it and wait for Drew to come over here?
That may be a good idea because we decided that we should do a brief intermission on our episodes to keep from another repeat of Oops, It Died.
Oops, It Died fucking sucked. I had to rebuild the entire
Was that
thing.
the last...
One
the name of the last
10-second
episode?
segment at a time. And it was like the first 30 minutes of the podcast I had to do this with. It was bullshit. I had to build it was divided up into segments that were 8 to 11 seconds long. 30 minutes of it.
That's horrible.
It took me like 3 hours to rebuild it. He knows. He was here the entire time I was doing it. How long did it take?
I just remember waking up at like 4 in the morning to the sound of... Not exactly, but it's a slight exaggeration. But
You went somewhere and came back while I was doing it.
did I?
Yeah, it was in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
We did the podcast. I think we did the podcast on Saturday, and then I was editing it on Sunday or something. And then you went somewhere and came back while I was doing it, and you're like, "You're still working on that?" I'm like, "This is taking me forever."
Yeah, that mega sucked. Although I did hear, did your computer lock up like the other day, like real early in the morning?
Locked up at like 2 in the morning the other day while I was watching Invisible Walls. It got like 20 minutes in and locked up.
Because I seem to remember it going like that and just hearing you like suppressing your aggravated yell, which I really appreciate.
I try not to wake you up. And I'm sorry if my computer wakes you up. That's not my fault.
Well, no. I heard that, and then I like braced myself for like a rage scream, and I didn't hear it, and I just went and rolled back over and went back to sleep.
You braced yourself for...
I think that part should be censored. Personally. Hey, you're
Okay, let's
screwed.
stop it here and then...
We just had to endure a computer crash. I'm glad we saved it when we do, because we just had to endure a computer crash and like 45 minutes of global wobbly bits and Andrew talking about his hemorrhoids. It's been an interesting night. Yeah, and Paul here is the unorganized Joe. We just had some awesome unorganized Joseph sandwiches. Right, D-pad. How were those unorganized Josephs?
Yeah, I had a bunch of sloppy man meat in the inside of my mouth of Andrew's. It was great. But then he started talking about his hemorrhoids, and that made me wonder where that meat's been. I don't know.
People are going to be listening to this and be like, okay, we're talking about...
Lots of things.
We just
happened
lost our
in
two
that-
listeners.
in that
Thanks, Alex.
I found out that my cousin's husband actually listens to our show.
Your cousin's husband.
Yeah, my cousin.
That's odd. When did he say that?
Which?
Earlier today. Danielle. You never met her.
Is that the one that got married while I was in Texas?
It's her. Well, she's adopted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I saw this amazing picture.
You
of
have
the internet
U2
the other
erectile
day.
dysfunction?
It was like a picture of Bono in like a news story, and he told yeah, and he told the crowd to be quiet during the concert, and the entire crowd shut up, and he starts clapping at once every few seconds. He says, "Every time I clap, a child in Africa dies." And someone in the crowd said, "So stop doing it, you dick!" Oh, it gets better. The caption for this was, "Bono, the reason children in Africa are dying."
I had to tell my one
brilliant.
anthropology professor about that shit when it came out. She hates Bono.
I figured you'd fucking love that.
That's funny.
Analysts are predicting that Kinect will fail to gain Microsoft market share in the casual game market.
Was that it? What was
The N-Gage sucked.
Yeah, was that it? N-Gage? I remember
Yeah.
it was like Nokia, and Nokia. Like,
Yeah, it was the N-Gage.
Yeah, Nokia was like, "Oh, this thing's gonna be so cool," and like all your friends are gonna love it, and then it like 2 people had it.
The original model for the N-Gage was fucking awful. You actually had to physically remove the battery and put it back in to switch it from video game mode to phone mode.
Wait, it was actually a phone?
Yeah, it was actually a phone. You had to remove the battery to be able to switch back and forth between. If you wanted to use it as a phone again, you had to remove the battery. That is so fucking. Who the hell decided this was a good idea? This is like a feature.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be like calling somebody at some point or another. Be
You
like,
wanted
oh
them-
hey, I'm talking to you on my N-Gage, or you're talking on an N-Gage. Can I call you back on a home phone or something?
He wanted to say something.
Wasn't the PSP also a phone?
That was a rumor that there was going to be a phone PlayStation Portable. It's never happened.
Yeah. I
Thank God, because the N-Gage sucks so hard, and I mean, come on.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The
I
N-Gage
guess
is one of the
it
worst
might
failures
it might
in
work
video
if you
games.
could put like a Bluetooth headset on it. Do they have? Yeah, they got Bluetooth, so you can that picks up your voice also.
Well, yeah, there are Bluetooth headsets. The PlayStation 3 uses them.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see that, but other than that, if you're in the middle of a game, and all of a sudden your phone starts ringing, you just like crash your character. So then you don't even get the call. So yeah, it's kind of like I understand how they're trying to put all these tiny gadgets in one. Oh, Alex, don't drink too much. That's still got it.
I think the lower pre-orders of the N-Gage of the Microsoft Kinect have to do with two things. First, the $150 price point. That's just too expensive. That's absurd. You add $50 to that, and you get a Wii, the whole console. Come on. But the second one is reports from the show floor at E3 generally were not favorable. They said a lot of the time the thing just didn't work. And E3 is a unique setting, so maybe it works in a more normal setting like someone's living room where there aren't bright lights everywhere and a whole lot of noise and everything, but I mean that the E3 is where you show your stuff off of, and if it's not working there, you're just going to look bad throughout the entire industry, you know?
And bamboozle.
And I gotta wonder if that's actually gonna really, really hurt them. Reports that it's just not working at E3. There's also a rumor that no more than 2 people can use the Kinect at a time, which I think would also hurt them because they're going to build party games for this thing, and party games have generally, ever since the Nintendo 64, worked with 4 players and not 2. You know what I mean? And the Wii will do some 4 players.
I wouldn't want to see, more than 2 people, in a living room, swinging their arms around at the same time. Anyways, I mean, because with the Wiimote, your movement's don't have to be that drastic, but
like with the Kinect, it's full body motion. It scans it's supposed to scan your entire body, and the character on screen is supposed to replicate every single movement you make.
Nintendo has been like a pawn in the last few generations. Like everything that they do, Sony and Microsoft, they just come along.
Oh yeah? Well, you've been making games for years now. You're a company that's been around for millions of years, and we can do 10 times better.
Nintendo been around for like 100 years, actually. They did playing cards before they did consoles.
They also did that
Yeah.
Nintendo wasn't always an entertainment company, actually. They did playing cards and pachinko in the 1800s, and then from the early 1900s up until like the 70s, they just did like everything and anything. Like they owned like chains of motels. They had like little like consumer gadgets. They were a conglomerate. Bamboozled. Mahogany.
Well, they kind of found an issue
Now. You know what was funny though? The R Zone.
That was Tiger, not Lincoln.
I know, but it was funny.
The R Zone.
D-pad, you guys have to see the commercial for the R Zone. They didn't even make it look good, and the commercial didn't even make it look good.
And in the first Star Wars movie, where they're in the pilot seat of the X-wing, and they got the thing that goes down over their eye while they're flying. Yeah, that's fucking what the R Zone looks like.
So like,
it's got like a little screen flips down and it like
eyes
attaches to your face, and it's got like one little screen that flips down in front of your eye.
So it's like a video game monitor.
Yeah,
Scout.
it fucking sucked.
But apparently the screen didn't like project in your eye or anything, so while you were looking straight forward with one eye, you could either let it be blurry, or you had to like force your other eye to
Or you could close your eye.
walk around squinting. But the commercial
That's how I played it.
consists of like this kid strapping one on. There's like a floating graphic of the kid's head wearing like rotating other graphics, which are not even like full motion graphics. They're like the little blinking like
Have you seen the
etched
Tiger
sprites.
handhelds that like have one game on them that they always did throughout the 90s? They'd like
Tiger handle. You mean those little things you get in Happy Meals?
Happy.
No, I don't.
It was like they had like a LCD screen that just had like wireframes for graphics and no animation. It's just like one frame here, one frame here, one frame here, and just like went back and forth between them.
They were called Tigers.
Tiger Electronics was the company that made them, but it was like that. That they supposedly they kind of redeemed themselves with their next console, which was a lot better and very innovative at the time. It still kind of sucked because, I mean, their next console was called the Tiger Gamecom, and it was the very first console to include a touchscreen. Or it was the very first handheld to include a touchscreen. It was the very first handheld to include any kind of PDA kind of
Display of defense.
no like personal data assistant. Personal data assistant.
Oh, like one of those things that people don't use anymore?
Well, yeah, but it was in 1997 that they did this, so
Smartphone without the phone.
it was in like 1997. So when they did this, so it was Yeah, that Palm Pilots were introduced in '96, and it was touchscreen. It was all, like I said, it was touchscreen, and it had a PDA. It's also the very first handheld to include any kind of online functionality. It had an external 14.4 kilobits modem you could get for it, and you can get online with it. And the online was very, very limited, but at the same time, it's kind of cool that it was the first one to do it. You know. It also.
I guess it would just be people who had like online games and logins.
It actually had like the animation on it was choppy, but it actually had animation on like the R zone. The sound was much higher quality, and it actually had like full speech capabilities, so you could have like spoken words or stuff like that. And it was probably the first handheld to do that as well. So it was very innovative at the time, but being 1997, the touchscreen just sucked, because touchscreens that weren't made by Palm sucked back then.
I mean, these sound really just unresponsive.
Yeah, they just weren't very responsive to what you do, and it's not like the touchscreens today where you tell it to do something and it fucking does it. Touch children?
Yes.
In Soviet Russia, Alka-Seltzer eats birds and explodes. You have to see the commercial. You have to. Don't tell me that's true. You have to see the
and I'll show
commercial for
you.
the R-Zone, or the review for the R-Zone.
Remind me and I'll show it to
So-
you guys after. The R zones suck ass.
I read an article though the other day, like an academic one. I don't know why. Like, I'm not in school. Like, I read it, and there was this longitudinal study that was going on from like 1998 to 2008, and they were studying the length of messages that people wrote. And after like email started really being around, they noted that the length of messages and the quality of the speech contained in messages like shortened and lessened.
Yeah.
Like,
I
and
believe
it. Basically, people got dumber because of email and blogging and like, all that stuff, and they can't hold conversations on the phone.
Yeah.
And text messaging, like when text messaging really picked up, like there at the end of 2000, beginning of 2000. Like, yeah, it just fucking bottomed out. Like, people have the shortest attention spans now because of things like text messages.
Even when I'm fucking text messaging, I spell out all my fucking words and use grammar.
Yeah, I still do that too, but there's people who are like, "Okay, thanks, bye."
Best
I
thing
hate that!
Best text message I ever
It's always
got
spelled
was-
B-A-I. Fucking retarded.
Best text message I ever got was from my mom. It was like the first text message she ever sent. It was while I was in college. She put I had this. It was like my second cell phone, and she texted me to call her. And but it said, she said, "Call me," and then mom. Like
Why
this-
didn't she just
like she
call
was-
you?
I think she did, and I didn't pick up. But she texted me, and it was like it wasn't. It was like she addressed herself like you would in a letter, like the footer of a letter, like "Call me, mom." Except she didn't put any punctuation sign into it, so it was just "Call me, mom."
Okay, Mom. Okay, last topic.
Say this
Just-
again.
The first text message my mom ever sent me just said "fuck." Like that was all it said. And then I called her and I was like, "What just happened?" She's like, I couldn't understand how to text message you, so I just sent you fuck."
Okay, we got one more topic for this week. Sega Saturn games may be getting the same treatment as Sega Dreamcast games are. They might be being put into next-gen consoles with the graphics bumped up to high definition and surround sound. Just like, I think this would be kind of cool, but the library for the Saturn is so much smaller than anything else
I was
Sega
just
has
about to
ever
say,
done.
Are there any games for the Saturn that are worth salvaging?
Possibly
there's probably
Panzer
already
Dragoon.
ROMs on like
Possibly
Pirate Bay and
Panzer
stuff
Dragoon,
that you
and
can
that's
download.
about it. That's the only one I can
The-
think of.
That one, I'm sure there's a Sonic game where you can play as Knuckles.
Oh, no, there's only one original Sonic game that came out for the Sega Saturn. It was Sonic R, and it was voted the worst Sonic game of all time. It's a racing game, but you're on foot.
Okay, well, you're Sonic.
Yeah. But, it's supposed to be really, really bad, like bad controls and everything. But apparently the Sega Saturn was really good for 2D fighters.
Yeah, it had like Virtua Fighter and stuff like that that might be worth it for like $5 or something. But like I said, the only one I could picture being really interested in that I can remember off the top of my head is Panzer Dragoon. And I know a lot of people will be interested in this one, and Knights into Dreams. A lot of people would be interested in that because that was a big hit on the system.
Was that D-Pad? Was that a remake of the original or a sequel that we played for the Wii of Knights?
No, that was a remake. I'm pretty sure it was the exact same game, just redone so you can use the Wiimote, which sucks. It's a whole lot more fun if you don't use the Wiimote, so it's pointless.
Knights was... I don't know. It looked like it could have been... aside from being really...
Well, it was probably very innovative at the time. It was like
Aside from being
1995,
really-
and 3D gaming was kind of rare, you know?
Yeah, but it wasn't 3D. It's a 3D plane that you move in like 2D... It's like a 2D plane that moves through 3D space. The controls are extremely awkward. Because it's just hard to explain. It's like you have all
that
this
might be
space...
specifically the Wii version where the controls are awkward. I don't know. I haven't played the Saturn version.
No, you can't move in and out of 3D space. You can only move along the track that weaves in and out of 3D level. And you can move up, down, left, right freely, but it's like
I
flying.
know that the Wii did get a sequel to Dreams. I don't know if it got the original, but the sequel supposedly wasn't very good. And a lot of people were very excited about it, though, because the original Knights was well received. The original Knights was well received. I just don't see all that many games on this being like... It's cool to see, but there aren't that many games for the system in the first place. I mean, its library was very small because
Bamboozle.
it's like the fastest failing system that they ever had, you know?
I remember that night so well.
There's actually
Oh
a
my
story
God.
behind that.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Just homeless Steve. Like, that's enough for Alex right there.
Yeah.
But he was sound asleep. Like, he worked second shift?
Oh, I don't know.
Or second or third
Like a
shift
month
at
after it
UPS.
happened.
And he would be passed out like 7, 8 o'clock at night, completely asleep. And I remember, I think he had a bunch to drink and he fell asleep. And I heard him mumbling when I was trying to go to bed at a normal time. He's just like, oh, thank God Hitler didn't the blacks. Or bamboozled. And I was just like, what? And then I woke him up and told him what he said, and he laughed so hard he peed. He peed himself right there in my bedroom because he was laughing so hard. And then he told everyone he knew, and it was the funniest fucking thing.
It was pretty funny.
I got some things in this podcast.
It's gonna be a short cast.
Well, the first 30 minutes that I cut out, I don't think. Possibly awkward silences.
Yeah.
Extended silences, I always try to cut that out.
You know how weird it is to say, I'm gonna cut that out on the podcast? Because then you would have to cut that out too, or otherwise you wouldn't know what was being
I should
referred to there.
just leave. I'm going to cut that out at some point.
Yeah.
Just
People would be bamboozled.
thank God Hitler didn't the blacks.
Thank God Hitler
That's
didn't
the best
the
sentence
blacks.
ever. Thank God Hitler didn't the blacks.
I thought the best sentence ever was "Why eat when you can fly."
That's just a good. It's a good
How
poem.
about I accidentally I accidentally a whole roll of toilet paper.
Whatever that means.
I accidentally the Holocaust. This has been an historical battle.
Dude,
It's from a Godzilla movie.
I work with this with a colored gentleman with funny teeth, and he always comes in. I work at a factory, and he comes in like a
funny
three-piece
Joy Division
suit.
liking teeth.
No, they're like British teeth.
So they're funny Joy Division liking teeth, right?
Yeah, like everyone in Britain sucks because they like Joy Division. Joy Division sucks so bad.
Okay, continue with your story.
No, I walked onto the slide with him, and he's working next to this girl, and
I thought you worked in a factory, not a park.
No, not slide. Okay, we work in a conveyor belt.
I'm just giving him shit. Calm
Little
down.
belts, little boxes come down the slide. It's not the fun slide, it's the work slide. No, it's not a wee slide. It's a fuck slide.
Not a super happy fun slide.
It's a slide of
It's a
fuck.
sweat slide. It's a sweatshop.
But it's not an
like
ocean of
slave
fuck.
owners
No,
down there.
nothing's an ocean of fuck. Except an ocean of fuck.
Ocean of fucking pile of bear.
No,
ass.
I walk up to this girl and she's like, "Oh, Ian, do you want to switch sides with me, please? I don't want to. I can't work next to this guy for another minute." I was like, "Okay, he doesn't seem too bad, And I stand next to him and he immediately starts talking and I can't make out a single word he's saying, and I'm not even responding to what he's saying, but he just keeps talking. And he's like,
I know the guy you're talking about. That guy loves Joy Division. Nah.
His name's Larry. I call him
Larry.
Leisure Suit Larry because he's always in a suit.
Yeah, that guy's
He works at a
strange.
factory in a suit. And he's like,
a nice guy.
I pick out one of the things
Coming
he
out
said.
of you?
He's like,
That's
well,
saying a
you see,
lot.
the problem with kids these days is that they take everything for granted. Suppose 911 blew up. I've seen it happen with my own eyes, man.
What?
And I could,
That doesn't even
that
make
sen-
sense.
Yeah, it like started ringing in my head, like as I'm trying to think it out.
Makes sense in retarded.
Like that phrase just kept like repeating in my head, and I was like, it doesn't make any sense. No, wait, go back, think about it again. It has to make some kind of sense. No, it still doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Okay.
I has a bucket.
Anyway, yeah.
Stole my bucket.
I saw a graph on Graph Jam. It said things that walruses do, and like 70% of it was looking for their buckets.
That's
No,
great.
on zero punctuation. Go ahead.
And it was like 15% was like look like Jamie Heineman. Like, that was like the other predominant part of the graph.
No, on zero punctuation, Yahtzee.
So how much of it was has a buck?
Actually, none.
Oh.
None of it was has a bucket because they were always looking for the bucket. And they also formed bucket search parties, which I saw on,
When they-
on Iconus Cheeseburger today.
When they find the bucket, they cease to exist because that's their purpose in life, and they can't exist without a purpose. No, I saw a pie chart on zero
Why do you
punctuation
exist?
once.
Oh!
Shut up! I'll fight you.
I swam with a fedora.
Yeah, I swam with my fedora on the other day. It was cool.
That
It
was
Tim.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Kind of. It was
On
kind of
zero
yesterday.
punctuation, Yahtzee put up this graph. He said something about people who are actually important, and he put up this pie chart that said it was like 10% people who labeled people who matter, and 90% people who still think lolcats are funny. They cracked me up.
I just like the bucket. It's so funny.
The bucket. Have you seen my bucket? It's about yay big.
It's just so funny.
Not as good as Bono is the reason that children in Africa are dying.
Yeah, that's really good. I can't wait to tell Dr. Poole about that. She's gonna think it's the funniest fucking thing ever.
I just love it.
Stop
Stop clapping, dick!
I think we should call it a night. It's been a... Hang on.
Okay, anyway, yeah. We should wrap this up. This has been another edition of Press the Action Button. Thanks for listening, everyone. I am your host, Joystick. With me, as always, is Gameface. Say goodbye.
Goodbye, audience. I am so sorry about tonight. Have yourselves a super Independence Day weekend.
And D-Pad. Say goodbye, D-Pad.
Alright, good night, you guys. Until our next meeting. Happy birthday, America. And, if you ever run into Andrew on the street, ask him for some meaty sauce into your mouth. It's brilliant. It's beautiful.
and Ian couldn't punch.
No. Go in and edit that part out.
And bamboozled.
And the reason why we can never stay on topic on this fucking podcast, Drew Bang.
You know you love it. It's cool. It's cool.
It was fun.
Plus America.
No, seriously, I have noticed, like,
America.
we stay on topic a lot better when you're not.
Wait. Who brought up the N-Gage? This guy.
Yeah. True. That's
the
true.
Engage sucked balls.
We should just cut it at
It really
that.
did. It really did. There's nothing else that can be said. It
Good
just
night.
sucked.
Good night, ladies and
Sucked
gentlemen.
so bad.
I need to show you guys the R's. Anyway, this is press the action button and we're out.